Thank you for joining me. I want to wish all of my friends and family around the world a very happy Preparation Day today and a very happy Sabbath tomorrow. One of the things that just really inspires me when I go to church is during the worship service while everyone is singing hymns of praise. I like to just pause for a moment and look out at the congregation and look at the joy in people's eyes and the smile on their faces as they're praising God from the bottom of their hearts, and that gleam of hope in their eyes as they're praising Jesus. And why that inspires me so much is because I know that some of the very people that are praising the Lord from the bottom of their hearts and the bottom of their lungs are some of the people who have faced some of life's toughest battles that week. And yet, through it all, the goodness of God has given them the victory. Satan receives a crushing defeat when the people he tried to destroy, isolate, and overcome are back in the house of God, praising the Lord together with that gleam in their eyes, that smile on their face, that joy that is coming from the bottom of their hearts. And, it reminds me too that oftentimes Satan tries to discourage us, making us think that we're alone in our trials. But 1 Corinthians 10:13 assures us, no temptation has taken you, but what is common to man. We all have faced some of life's toughest trials, toughest battles. And by God's grace, we've overcome. And so when we come to church, we come to, of course, worship the Lord, but also to be a source of encouragement to one another. That might include listening to somebody else's problems without even telling them about mine. When Joseph saw the baker and the butler there in prison that day and saw that they were sad, he asked them, "What is wrong? You guys look sad." He didn't tell them, "Oh, you look sad? You should hear my story." No, not at all. Joseph listened to their story. And by the way, his care for them turned out to be his ticket out of that place. And so when we come to church, we want to remember others have also been hurt. And we need to be a source of encouragement to them as well. In the movie Black Hawk Down, now the movie Black Hawk Down is about the United States intervention in Somalia back in the 90s. And there's one particular scene where there were 89 U.S. soldiers in a battle. 19 of those soldiers were killed. 70 were injured, many of them severely injured. General William Garrison comes on the scene and sees all of his men injured and is doing his best to get them loaded into these jeeps and everything so they can be taken to the hospital. And when he has one jeep loaded, he turns to a private and tells the private, "Take this jeep to the hospital." To which the private responds to General Garrison, "But sir, I'm injured." To which the general had to respond, "Everyone is injured." And that scene in that movie was a defining moment to bring home the fact that everybody in war is injured. Nobody escapes war without being injured. And nobody escapes this life without being injured. We all have been injured. And so we want to be that source of encouragement to one another. That might mean going to church tomorrow and listening to somebody else's story instead of sharing my own. God knows my hurt. God knows my sorrow. Maybe I just need to be a listening ear to someone else without even sharing my story. That worked for Joseph when he was in prison and he saw the butler and the baker were sad. And he goes up to them and he doesn't tell them, "Oh, you look sad? You should hear my story. I've been through a lot." No, Joseph doesn't do that. He doesn't tell them his story. He listens to theirs. And listening to them, helping them, turned out to be his ticket out of prison and on to much greater things. Let's remember this Sabbath, we've all been injured. But by God's grace, we all can overcome and praise God from the bottom of our lungs and the bottom of our hearts. God bless you. Have a wonderful Sabbath.